You don't need validation to move forward, to take action, to finally achieve what you seek to achieve. You don't need anyone in the crowds clapping for you. You don't need an audience. All you need is the trust in God and your dedication to the work. The work itself. Most people give up on the process because it's uncomfortable, because there's no one there to cheer them on, because it's painful and there's no one around to comfort them through the pain. But without the process, then what would the destination mean? Without the journey, when we get to the destination, if we ever get there, what does it mean? Too many of us fight, speed to, rush to a destination, and by the time we hit the destination, if we actually endure the process to reach it, we feel empty. We forgot that famous quote to stop and smell the flowers. We've heard it before. The joy is in the journey. The journey is in the joy. But so why do we forget? Why do we live life not having that in our mind when we are on this journey? When things don't seem to be going our way? When nothing seems to be happening? When all it feels like is just mundane, thoughtless, boring, painful, suffering, discipline, over and over and over again. The consistency isn't fun depending on the perspective. But if we shift our mindset, if we put on new lenses and we look at the process in a different angle, and we start to realize that this is actually something that's enjoyable. We can start to rewire our mind to believe that this is actually the fun part. Kobe Bryant said something along the lines of the joy, the enjoyment was in those early mornings. It was in those hard hours of training when nobody else was there. It was in those times where he was the first to train and then the last to leave. It was all the times that people look at in a negative light that was actually the dream. The process is the dream. Not the goal that we have in mind, not the target, but the process. We have to trust in it because God made it to the point where everything has a process. Everything worthwhile and everything negative, everything that we wouldn't want, all of it is a process. Every single day we are in the middle of a process. And the cool thing about free will is we get to decide what kind of process we're indulging in. Are we going through the process of getting further and further out of shape, losing our health? Or are we in the process of strength, of sharpening ourselves, of leveling up and getting to a place where we couldn't get to without the difficult process it takes to get there? See, that's the difference maker, the perspective. Looking at the process and realizing that I need this. And I'm going to enjoy this, because if I don't enjoy this, by the time I get to the destination, I'm going to be thinking, wait, this doesn't feel the way that I thought it would. I guess there's something else I must do now. It's about the hunt. It's about being in pursuit of something. Waking up, not being at that goal yet, but you get to see all the incremental progress in the process. It's in those moments where you can look back and see, man, I really came a long way. You know what? That little voice in the back of my mind, it actually was lying. Because I have been making progress. Because this process actually works. despite what it tries to get me to believe. So my question I leave with you today is, what process are you willing to endure?